Hi, I'm Dora Andrew Erkey. I work for MCC. I'm a retired teacher. When I taught at Dillingham City Schools in the mid-'80s, I had two elders come into my classroom. One was my mother, Annie Andrew, and the other one was Elena Pat. And the two elders worked side by side, one presenting and then the other one presented. My late mother presented first, but before she presented, I remember distinctly listening to her, and I told the students we all need to listen because they have words of wisdom that we need to apply to what they're going to show us. And so my mother talked about when she makes material, and in this instance, she wanted to make a square that was the square, much like this. She used her duknuk so that the square would fit her body size. And then she would strip the square into pieces, and she said she would make the pretend window out of white calf skin and one out of black calf skin. And that was what she was doing. And when she talked, before she even made the square, she also said, measuring accurately, even while estimating, is very important to the elders. And she said, when we make even patterns, they have to be pleasing to the eye. And I didn't get that until much later when I started working with Jerry and more elders, and found that pleasing to the eye meant not only pleasing to the eye when you look at it, but it's also meaning that whatever she made was balanced. When she folding was very important to our elders, and my mother said everything had to be made precisely, accurately, and balanced. And she said symmetry was very crucial. One side must equal the other side. This sleeve must be the exact size as the other side. And when she talked about her project, she told the students, and she told me, Dora, cut a piece of paper. And I did. I literally cut a piece of paper, and she said, no, ang luku, agagan kluku. She said, make it big, don't use scissors. So I ripped a piece just like this, and she nodded. And I asked her why she wanted a shape like this, and she said, it'll make the students understand better how I make a square. And so I had a piece like this, and she said, when I make calf skin a square using a black piece and a white piece, the square, she said, has to be just right for her body. And she said, to make it just right, she said, this is a unit of measurement. So if I put this across here, that becomes the unit of measurement she used. And she said, even if we don't use I even forgot what she called a ruler. Nalqichtum, the tool to make something straight. She said, even if we don't use that, we can still make things very nalqich, very straight. So the very first thing she did was to do this, to make something very nalqich, very straight. And I did raise it up and ask the students, do you see what she means by nalqich? And some of the students couldn't see, so I asked my mother, can I draw in the line that you folded? And she said yes. And when I showed it to her, she said, that's very good. And so she said to cut it out, kaplugu. I started going through this process, and as I was cutting this out, I thought, oh, the way my mother made this, just by folding, was without the use of a ruler. And there are a lot of math implications that come from making her square the way she did. And our project uses her method because the way she made the square, all the precise ways of measuring were very accurate and mathematically rich. And the second elder, who used the square, also made the square my mother's way, but she further made it into a circle, which I will show later. Let me go back to how my mother made the square. The square, she said, is a tiknuk width. And she said it's malruk tiknuk, 2 tiknuks wide, which equals to a parka pattern width. And that's why if you look at this, this is exactly 2 tiknuk malrulutik. And this is the width of the parka trim that fits my body size. And I'm the size of my late mother, so I will act like her and go through this process. And when she cut the straight line, she said, Una ayaginchok. This is the beginning. And in math, a straight line is also a mathematical term. So my mother used the edge, and remember she used the tiknuk, and I will put it against here. And this is the unit of measurement that she used from the bottom of the tiknuk to the top, which is about this wide. So there it is. And she used the tiknuk as a unit of measurement. She said, Malgawnik, Kaliknik, 2 tiknuk, one on top of the other. And this is where she folded. And when she had students fold with her, she found some folded one side very narrow and the other side wider. So she said, oh, you are of that age where you need another set of techniques, iqagni, at the two ends. So now you could see the approximate spots where the techniques are. There's tapluku. And what she did was I measured from this end to the other end and to the center. And if she thought it was pretty accurate, precise folds, and then draw your line. We have now made the qugaq. Every project has a qugaq. A qugaq is the center. So if I pretend this is my project, there's the center, right in the middle. And she said, the center is now right in the middle. And if this side is the same as that side, then she cut it out. And she called these chipnut, the two pieces that she will use later. Even if in the Western world we think these are just remainders. No, these are going to be used for something else. Dashu. If I fold this avgaluku again by folding it in half, I now have made what all the elders say every project starts with the qugaq, center point. Now if you look, there's the center point. Since I measured two of these, I now need to measure one of those. Tapluku. Unakwatan ayok ngalkan asito. Almost. She used another piece that had this accurate 90-degree angle to make two squares. I used to laugh and say it's two squares in one shot. And here are the two squares. And we know the angle is accurate because there's a 90-degree angle here. Doesn't it done kapluku? We ukatun bishunga 1, 2, paniho 1, Ikay Aipa, and here's its partner. And this is where my students thought they had a square. And my mother said, no, you've She put the two sides together, and look at the size of the correction she would have made to make a straight line. She said, this is getting toward pleasing to the eye because this side is equal to that side and they are the same size. Dohluguk, the other side. Ayukuk, no. Ayukuk, and they are the same. The outsides, not the area inside, but the outsides are now of the same size. This side equals that side, and I'm including the area as well. But she said, this is where it's important. If my measurement is off from this measurement to the measurement this way, it will show up if I fold from the okak out. And it's very asit. Asit, not good. So that meant one side was longer than the other. Kituhluku, kituhluku. It's not, how she'd say, pleasing to the eye till I know this shape is the same size as this shape. Now it's getting toward pleasing to the eye. From the kukak, always from the center point. Use the center point. Fold dakal. Ayukuk, are they the same? My goodness, not quite. I was gonna say that's a first, but there's still not done. So what she did was recheck everything. Recheck. Asikhto. Recheck. Ayukuk. 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 Not done. Now it's a good square. Malruk tiknruk.